one should always have a choice, right? One should either take the right direction or wrong direction. Everyone should have a choice in terms of the way they want to live their lives. So why don't I ask you that if this is not mandatory, uh, would you take the session? Answer yes or no. Again, if you feel shy and if you feel scared, not right, being part of it, absolutely all right. Say no. It's no problem at all. But also, while you're saying yes, tell me, forget Sahaj Yoga, forget meditation. What is that? Why? What is that you're not able to solve in your life so far? What is that which is your biggest challenge at this point of time? Either pandemic or COVID or the online classes and all this. What is your biggest challenge or family pressures? I'm not asking anything personal here, but overall, just very quick in one word or one small sentence. What is the biggest challenge that you want to solve today? Let me just hear from you guys. I'll go silent for 60 seconds and type as fast as possible. What is your biggest challenge today? And if you would like to take this session, time starts now. Okay, I'm still waiting. In call messages, come on, guys. You can always tell what is that one biggest challenge in your life right now which you want to get addressed or which you want to solve, which you cannot solve but you wish it gets solved. Nobody has a challenge? Well, I have a big challenge. I am actually stretched between my work life and my personal life so much I'm not able to find time to do things which I really, really like to do. So that's one of the biggest challenge I am facing personally, even though I'm a coach here. What is your challenge?
Sorry for interrupting. I think participants are writing this in the chat box. They have many challenges. They're writing already.
All right, all right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Common things. Okay. Maintain healthy. Dean of Student Affairs, could you like to just elaborate? What do you mean healthy? Is this your physical health, emotional, mental health, all of it?
Both physical and mental health, sir.
Okay. 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 Anybody else? Still got 10 seconds to go. Anybody else? All right. Okay, let me take this as an example because there's a common thread here. Now I'll give you, okay, work home responsibility. Keep typing, keep putting your messages, but I'll ask you to stop typing and start uh, going into a almost a non-responsive state as soon as we go into the practice session. But until then, keep listening, keep sharing because we got to keep it interactive. Okay. The biggest challenge is not because we are not able to find time between work and personal life. We are not able to delineate between work and personal life. You don't know when to switch off mentally from work and switch on mentally for life at home. For example, if you have to get your kids homework done, you're still thinking or worrying about the work that is you have to do tomorrow, or the task that is pending, or something you're thinking about how you interacted with your colleagues or boss. One of these other things, one of these many things, you're not able to mentally stop, mentally pause, like what used to happen in office, right? We used to get out of office and then many of you would forget that office existed till next day when you reach back there, right? Most of them. Otherwise, people are constantly on mails and messages all the time. So literally office never ends. But still, you were able to put a full stop and come out and have your evening and stuff. You're not able to do that at home because home, there are no boundaries. You can't really go from that, okay, I was working in living room. Now I'm going to my study room. This is my home and that is my office. There is no physical delineation. Hence, there is no mental delineation also. There's no mental boundaries here. So anytime we want to indulge into something, we have to be in that 100%. And that's not just true to work and work-life balance. It's true to everything you do. Even right now, as you're listening to this session, your mind is in 100 different things. You're thinking about, potentially, what could you have done better yesterday? What would you do tomorrow or day after or 6 months down the line? You means your mind is constantly, engaged between things from past and thoughts of future, and you are not able to focus on what is in present. Means this topic, and even what I'm saying to you right now, you're probably hearing 10% of that and absorbing 2% because mentally you're not here. Now you can't say it's work-life balance or anything like that. You can't blame it on something, on a buzzword, work-life balance. It's about your mental balance. It's about your ability to focus on things at hand versus things that have happened earlier versus things that are going to happen in future, neither of which you have control on, neither of which you have, you know any influence on. What has happened you can't change. What's going to happen, it has not happened, so it's still up in the air. And that is where the whole concept of concentration comes in. That's where the whole concept of productivity comes in. When we say we have to be productive, what does productive means? Productive means you have your 100% attention on the things at hand. The return, or we say the ROI, return of investment of your time is the maximum amount of concentration, a maximum amount of attention that you can put a task at hand, rather than thinking about things back and forth or jumping between one job to another. Many people like to basically do multitasking. This is a very common word. I'm a great multitasker. I can handle 5 things at a time. You can't handle any one of them. If you are a multitasker, what it actually means, you are jack of all trades and master of none, because you will do average results in everything versus producing an excellent result in one. And it's better to be best in one rather than being an average in everything. You, as faculties, you tell this to students all the time, right? Be good at one thing rather than just knowing a little bit about everything. So this whole concept of productive, whole concept of concentration, the whole concept of having the highest yield from your time and effort basically comes from your ability to be able to focus on things at hand, and also your whole energy. It's just out of, I have worked in corporate world for about 21 years now, and right about 6-7 years back, I think it was 2013 or 2014, a very close friend of mine who still is, Dr. Dipendra Kumar Jha. He is now the Vice Chancellor for Adamas University in Kolkata, but he was then the Vice Chancellor for GD Goenka University in Gurgaon. So, he used to often invite me to do sessions for students, and I would go. So, and it was about time the university was getting started, and there was this subject called human values and ethics. So he asked me to come and teach that subject to students, and and just get because they couldn't find a teacher, the university was too new, etc. So I did that. So I used to kind of go a couple of times a week for about taking 2 lectures per day, twice a week, for 2 sections on human values and ethics. And I'll tell you, means it was pretty stressful. Means teaching is not an easy job. Teaching is not at all an easy job. Your whole energy gets drained in terms of not just the effort that you do, but managing the attention of so many people at one given point of time, managing the attention of so many minds who are wandering in different direction at one given time. And again, our own energy, if you see, we don't have physical jobs anymore, but we get drained out at the end of the day because we exhaust our energy completely on thinking and and focusing on things which do not matter. So it's very important not just to focus or have productive time, but it also should be in terms of what is that you put in terms of energy and the effort you get out of it, or the result you get out of it. So it's your energy should be very productive. For the amount of effort you put in, that should be very limited. You waste your energy about worrying, thinking, planning, none of which matters. How many plans have worked out so far? How many things have happened as per what you have wanted? So this whole concept of focusing is very important, and this also leads to better management, better self-discipline, etc., etc., etc. But it's very difficult to get there. Means how can you be focused on things at hand, because mind is outside your control. Means you can't have a situation where you can say, it's like जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं ना कि यहाँ पे कूड़ा मत फेंको, सबसे ज्यादा कूड़ा वहीं पे पाया जाता है. तो the moment you tell to yourself that I'm going to focus right now, more your mind will start to wander, more your mind will start to go into 30 different directions. So it's very, very important that there should be a mechanism which allows your mind to not think but focus on things at hand. Focus on things at hand. That is one aspect. Another aspect, which is something which I firmly believe in, is that this is I mean, as faculty, as teachers, and many of you are very, very learned. Miss, I wish I would be half as learned as you are, but you teach most when you're not teaching. Teachers teach most when they're not teaching. Teachers not just teach by what academics or what material they know, but you teach others by your personality, your behavior. You are essentially nothing less than a role model for students. They look up to you in terms of how to behave. They look up to you in terms of how to talk to each other. They look up to you in terms of how you dress. They basically look up to you as someone that they would want to be in their lives. So all the good things and at many times the bad things they learn from you. So teachers are even more important than parents because of the amount of time any students spends with them versus their own parents. And Mr. Typical university students barely see the parents at night for dinner or maybe for breakfast. Otherwise, they're usually out in campus or interacting with friends or faculties or spending time online with you all. So you being a role model is also very important. But a teacher's life is very, very difficult, managing their family, managing, work commitments, managing students. It's a very difficult life. So how you cannot lose patience very quickly. The problem is that, many teachers, many faculty members, they get frustrated very quickly. Getting frustrated is a very common symptom amongst faculties. Getting into depression is also a very common symptom amongst faculties, because many of the faculty positions are not very well paid. Hours are very long. It's very demanding. At the same time, students are very egoistic. Colleagues are very egoistic. Management is very egoistic. So, you have to take the brunt of all this ego, pounding upon you. And at times you give in. You might come up with a very bad day and go back home, or, when you switch off from your work, you might start yelling at your wife or husband or kids for no reason. All this, what we say imbalances from the workplace affects your mood and behavior also. So how can you be balanced and calm? How you can take all that is thrown at you, because every day a lot of different kind of stress will be thrown at you. These stress would be either mental, where you'll be pushed to react, you'll be pushed to act in a certain way, you'll be pushed to work more, you'll be pushed to be more answerable than you are. But all of that, and at the same time, many of the things will hurt you emotionally also. So how do you work in a way that you are not ending at end of every day by being either agitated or depressed? So that is also very important, being able to be emotionally stable. Now, if I may ask Chandrakant to just pull up the slide which basically shows the inner body. I just want to spend 4 or 5 minutes there and then take it to the whole experience session, because like faculties, like people from educational background, I'm pretty sure that you don't want to believe anything which is a myth or which is something just like a theory. It has to be backed by logic. It has to be backed by science. So you want to share some kind of science and and the context with you. Chandrakant, if you are on the line, can I ask you to please share the chakra chart or the subtle system here? Chandrakant, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, great. So as this comes up, what you're going to see is the human body inside each one of us. How the body is structured inside each of us. irrespective of how we are from outside, whether we are Indians, Americans, Hindu, Muslim, black, brown, white, the whole body, how it is structured inside us. This is what is going to show up on your screen in a few moments. Now, what this system is what is called as the subtle system or the inner system inside of all of us. This is how our body is made up of through eyes or through what eyes cannot see. This is not something which is visible in X-ray or ultrasound. This is your inner energy system which is there with you in every birth, in this birth, in all your previous birth, and in all your future births also. So this inner subtle system, Chandrakant, we can't see it yet. I'm not sure whether it's just me or...
Yes, sir, we share it with you.
Okay, but the screen is blank still. I'm not sure whether others can see it or not.
Okay, maybe let me check. I will stop sharing and share once again.
Okay, so while it shows up, what I'm trying to say is that this system inside your body is there with you since you were 2 and 3 months old in your mother's womb. So when a child is about 2 or 3 months old in mother's womb, this entire system gets created, and it gets created because of this energy which comes inside us. You know, once it is, it's not visible yet, Chandrakant. So
Okay.
this energy system which gets created within our body when we are between 2 and 3 months old in mother's womb happens because of the energy which comes inside from the top of our head here. I'm showing you on the video. So this energy enters our body through here, and it crosses your internal, it goes inside your body, and you can call this energy as God's energy or universal energy. Guys, don't worry about it. I know it is not visible, so please pay attention. Once it is visible, you know, it will be visible to all, so don't worry about it, just pay attention. When this energy comes inside your body, this energy comes inside your body through the top of your head here, which is called the fontanelle bone area, the soft bone area in the childhood. बच्चे छोटे होते हैं तो उनका ये हिस्सा बहुत मुलायम होता है, so it enters from here, and this is also a very sacred area in almost every religion. You know, Muslims wear a skull cap here, Jews wear a cap here, Sardars put a turban here to protect this area. Even in Hindu dharma, you know, Hindu religion, we put hand here when we have to bless something. Okay, Chandrakant, it is visible now. So if you can see on the screen, this energy enters from the top of the head where you see that rainbow color, that flower which you see on top of the head. It goes inside your body, and since brain is like a prism, brain is made up of left lobe and right lobe, this energy gets divided into 3 energy channels. The left energy system, Dr. Muhammad Kalimullah, just wait for 1 second. It is visible to me. It's visible to, it should be visible to others also. Just wait for 1 second. It will show up on your screen. Maybe it's just your system is a little slow or network is slow. Yeah. So it's visible to most of you. So when this energy comes inside your body, it gets divided into 3 channels. The left nerve channel, which is basically the left blue line, which is on the blue side, on the left side of the body, the blue line, which is called the left nervous system. The right nervous system is the yellow line, and the central line is the central nervous system. So all these 3 energy centers, or sorry, all these 3 energy you know, channels, they basically flow inside your body, and they also cross each other at 6 different points. So they create what they call our chakras. They create 7 different chakras in a body, and there are 3 energy systems. Whatever energy remains after creating us, it is basically residing at the lower end of your spine. So if you see where the spine ends, the triangular bone area at the end of the spine is where this energy resides. Now, this energy has been known to human beings since thousands of years now. You know, in Islam we call it as Ruh. In Christianity we call this as Holy Ghost. You know, and in Sanskrit or Hindu religion we call it as Kundalini. So there's different names which have been given to this, but essentially it means the same. This is God's energy inside us, and we can choose to call God by whatever name it, you know, we call them because of the religions we belong into. Sorry, talking too much today. So this energy is there inside all human beings. This energy can be activated, and once this energy becomes active, it rises. Chandrakant, can we show how this energy travels, please? Yes. So pay close attention. This is how the energy moves inside your body. When you take a Sahaj Yoga session, the session that you will take today will basically activate this energy, and this energy will, once it gets activated, and the process of getting activated, you can see here, it is blinking. This energy is blinking in white light at the lower end of your spine. It will happen just after when I stop speaking and Chandrakant takes the experience session. This energy will get awakened. It will start to rise through the central nervous system. It will cross the 6 energy centers above it. Every time it crosses an energy center, it basically heals that part of the body. So whichever part of the body it is crossing, it's basically healing that part of the body. So if you have any physical or medical problems inside your body, this energy basically heals that part of the body automatically. Once it rises through your stomach, chest area, crosses your throat area, then goes up and crosses your mind. Once this crosses your mind, it basically creates a gap between your thoughts. So it creates a little gap between your thoughts, and you stop thinking in that moment. So this is what people call meditation. This is where you stop thinking. You're not sleeping, you're just witnessing. So this energy basically creates a gap between your two thoughts, and you become focused. Because you stop thinking about past and future, and you go 100% calm and 100% in present. And when it comes out from the top of your head, and when it flows through your left and right nervous system, it gives you that emotional balance also. It removes all the anger and aggression inside you. It also removes any depression symptoms inside you. And it is true, because for last 50 years we have been doing it. We have cured hundreds and thousands of patients without medication using these meditative techniques, and we are still doing it in more than 95 countries worldwide. This is being practiced in Iran, Pakistan, Kuwait, Dubai, Riyadh, all the countries, to all the Western countries, in Malaysia, Indonesia. It's there all across the world in 95 plus countries. So this is something which is proven since last 50 years, over 95 countries. The photograph that you see here is of Her Holiness Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. She is the founder of this practice. And for her contribution, because she never charged money, as Dr. Kumar was also saying, we never charge money, because this is a principle. This is a principle that we follow, because everything you cannot buy, everything cannot be sold. This is something we cannot sell. This is just what we have experienced in our own lives, that we are passing it on to you. So this is for free of cost, and for her effort, she was twice nominated for Nobel Peace Prize, awarded with Nobel Peace Medal. So this is a very scientifically and worldwide accepted technique. This is not like something or some Babaji or some Guruji is doing in India, some shady technique that they're doing. This is a scientific proven technique, recognized by WHO, recognized by UNESCO, recognized by AIMS and different medical bodies across the world. Okay, we have a lot of research papers to back it. Now with that, yes, you can ask your questions, but I'll say just hold your questions. Yes, there are a lot of YouTube links for each of this. You have to just go and type Sahaj Yoga, and you'll see a few thousand videos out there on different topics. In fact, what you can do, you can type Sahaj Yoga and type and give space, and then type whatever your problem is. Sahaj Yoga family problem, space family problem. Sahaj Yoga space marriage problem. Sahaj Yoga space children problem. Sahaj Yoga space migraine problem. Sahaj Yoga space diabetes problem. Sahaj Yoga space cancer problem. Type anything. There is a video for each of your problems, which has been delivered by Her Holiness Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi herself. So, with that, I'll stop talking. I would like you to experience this, because, as you say, it has to be proven. Otherwise, it is just a talk, because that's the difference between Sahaj Yoga and other meditation. Here, you experience everything we speak. It's not just a theory or a concept. It is actually a reality. So please experience this reality. I'll request now Chandrakant to take over and take you through the rest of the session.
Thank you, sir. So maybe we can start the practical part. So in practical part, we have first part which we call as balancing, where we balance our left side, that is Ida Nadi, and right side, which we call as a Pingala Nadi. And then there is a self-realization step. These are the 3 steps. So first we will understand this step with the open eyes, and then we can do this with the closed eyes. So first is your base position will be both the hand on your lap, palm will be facing toward the sky. I can switch on my video. So your palm will be facing toward the sky and your both the hand on your lap. Now to balance our left side, our left hand on our lap, and we'll put our right hand on Mother Earth. If you are sitting on chair, you can direct your right hand toward Mother Earth. If you are sitting on a ground, just touch your right hand on Mother Earth. Then take our right hand back to our lap. Now we are going to balance our right side. So right hand on our lap, and slowly we'll raise our left hand toward the sky, bending from elbow, and our left palm will be facing toward the back side. This will clear our right side. Now take our both the hand back to our lap. After balancing is done, we will do the self-realization steps. So raise our right hand, put on our heart little left side, press it little bit hard. Then raise our right hand, put on our forehead horizontally, like this. You can see my video. Press it little bit hard. Move our head little down. And then last stage, raise our right hand, put on top of our head. Press it little bit hard. Stretch our palm. Rotate our palm 7 times clockwise direction. Okay, these are very simple steps. So do you have any question? Steps are clear? Can we start the session? Okay, so let's start the session. I think steps are clear. If you find that any step is not clear, so do not worry, just follow the instruction. Okay. So I request you all participants, we will start in a few seconds, but before that, if you are wearing a shoes or slipper, please remove so that your feet can touch Mother Earth. If you are sitting on a chair, make sure your feet are away from each other like it's shown in a PPT. If you are wearing a tight watch or a tight belt, just lose it out for some time so that you are comfortable. We will going to remove our spec because anyway we are closing our eyes. Now sit comfortably, be relaxed, slowly close our eyes. धीरे धीरे हम अपनी आंखें बंद करेंगे। Our spinal cord should be upright and straight. Be relaxed. प्रसन्न चित्त होके बैठेंगे। Our attention on both of our palm and top of our head. Now we are going to do left side balancing. So our left hand on our lap, and slowly we'll raise our right hand and put on Mother Earth. If you are sitting on a chair, just direct toward Mother Earth. And here we will pray in our heart, Mother, please remove all the heaviness, all the blockages, all the negativity from my left side toward this Mother Earth element. You may experience the flow of energy in both of your palm and top of your head. So let's enjoy this flow. Let's experience this flow. Now slowly take your right hand back to your lap. Now we are going to do right side balancing. So our right hand on our lap. Slowly we'll raise our left hand toward the sky, bending from elbow. Our left palm will face the back side. And here we will pray in our heart, Mother, please remove all the excessive heat, unnecessary thoughts, blockages from my right side toward the sky element. We may feel the cool or hot breeze in both of our palm and top of our head. Let's enjoy this state for a few minutes. Now slowly take your left hand back to your lap. Now over both the hand on our lap. Our spinal cord should be upright and straight. Be in a relaxed position. If there are thoughts, you just watch as a third person. Do not get involved in a thought. You need to say, not this thought, not this thought. Now slowly raise our right hand Put on our heart, little left side, press it little bit hard, and here we'll say 12 times in our heart, Mother, I am the pure spirit. श्री माता जी, मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ. You need to say 12 times in your heart, Mother, I am the pure spirit. श्री माता जी, मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ. Now slowly raise our right hand, put on our forehead horizontally, press it little bit hard, squeeze our palm, move our head little down, and here we will pray, Mother, I forgive everyone. Mother, I forgive everyone. Whoever created a problem to me in my past. मैंने सबको क्षमा की. जिसने भी मुझे चोट पहुंचाई है, मैं उन सबको क्षमा करती हूँ. Don't think about any individual, just forgive. Now slowly raise our right hand, put on top of our head, press it little bit hard, stretch our palm, rotate our palm clockwise direction 7 times, and you need to take a prayer 7 times in your heart. Mother, please give me my self-realization. श्री माता जी, कृपा करके मुझे मेरा आत्म साक्षात्कार प्रदान कीजिए. You need to rotate your palm 7 times clockwise direction. You need to say, Mother, please give me my self-realization. Now slowly take your both the hand back to your lap, and we'll do a meditation for a few seconds. Just concentrate on both of your palm and top of your head. You may experience cool or hot breeze coming out from your head. Now slowly we can open our eyes. धीरे धीरे हम अपनी आंखें खोलेंगे. Now, one step we can do together. If possible, you can switch on your video just for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Raise our right hand on top of our head like this. You can see the video photo on the PPT, or you can see my video. Your left hand on lap, right hand on top of your head, but do not touch. Move little up, down, left, right. See if you can feel a cool or hot breeze. कुछ ठंडा या गर्म आप महसूस कर सक रहे. कुछ ठंडा या गर्म आपके दोनों हाथों से या सर के ऊपर कुछ महसूस हो रहा है या नहीं, उसे देखना है. थोड़ा ऊपर थोड़ा नीचे कीजिए. जिसको भी पॉसिबल हो वो अपना वीडियो ऑन कर सकता है. एंड देन वी कैन डू टुगेदर. मूव लिटिल अप, डाउन, left, right. See if you can feel that experience. Take our right hand back to our lap. Try with the left hand. See if you can feel a cool or hot breeze. Thank you, Ashok sir. I can see you. Move little up, little down, little left, right. Did you feel some cool or hot breeze? It's a very minute experience. So take your left hand back to lap. Try with the right hand again. Now raise your right hand and left hand both toward the sky. Stretch your arm. Move your head backside. And here we will ask one question. Mother, is this the experience of self-realization? क्या यही आत्म साक्षात्कार की अनुभूति है? And slowly we'll take both our hand in front of our heart. The way we do namaskar, we can do namaskar. This is for our internal energy. And slowly open our palm. Move forward, backward, forward, backward. Did you feel some kind of energy? Suresh sir, did you feel any energy? Ashok sir, did you feel? Yeah, okay. Shilpa
Yes.
ma'am, did you feel? Okay, so you need to do like this.
Yes.
Guys, attracting.
Okay, very good. So try this. You may feel some kind of energy. Now, what you need to do is observe these 2 points, top of your head and both of your palm. Did you feel some kind of energy? You need to observe these 2 points, both of your palm and top of your head. Okay. I guess you cannot able to see the screen, or screen is visible.
Not visible.
Okay, okay. Maybe again there is some technical issue, but no problem. So here we completed our practical part. So what you need to do every day, 10-minute morning meditation and 10-minute evening meditation. You need to do the balancing left and right, and then you just need to sit in meditation. If you do regularly, you will see a transformation within you. Your memory power increase, your concentration power will increase, your immune power will increase. You will always feel lighter. You will be a positive person. You will be a balanced person. There are a number of benefits, but the key is you need to practice this regularly. So at home, what you need to do is just balance left side, right side, and do meditation. That's it. Then we have foot soak technique, ice pack treatment, but these are all the advanced step. Maybe we have only time till 5:30, right, sir?
Yeah, 5:30.
Okay, okay. So sorry, we because of time we could not able to cover a few topics, because this will take around 1 or 2 hours. But maybe in future, if you like this meditation, we will request Ashok sir, please give us 2 or 3 more session, so we can teach you foot soak technique, music therapy, and ice pack treatment.
So you want to stop now or you want to continue?
No, sir. It will take 1 hour, but it will not possible to continue for 1 hour. Maybe in future, whenever you have some free time, we can conduct. I posted a feedback form. We request you all participants, please fill this feedback form. You will get more information. And if you need a particular, let's say particular information on particular disease, you can put in remark and we will share this information with you. So we are open for question answer. If you have any question answer, please let us know.